All right, welcome to episode 2 of Diary of a Fighter. I have 39 days to go until I have my world boxing debut at the O2 Arena in London. I will be there boxing for the very first time in my life. And I just want to create these daily vlogs to try to answer any questions you have as far as how I'm feeling, what's going on, what's the training like, what's the diet like, what's the mentality, what's the spirituality, what's the reason you would even do this, Brian? And today I want to talk about this question that I've gotten from many of you, which is 50 too old to have a fight? Now, I'm 50 years old. I was born in 1971. I turned 51 in May. And if you had told me at 20 or 30 or at 40 years old that I would be having a boxing match, at the biggest indoor arena in England in front of fans and live stream around the world, where someone's trying to punch me in the face with real gloves, who wants to knock me out, I would have told you you're out of your goddamn mind, And I would have said that's ridiculous, I would have thought, can 50-year-old Brian still tie his shoes? Can he get out of bed in the morning? This is my questions I would have asked. And, I wouldn't have even thought 40-year-old Brian would have been suited for a fight. But at some point you have to ask yourself, when am I telling myself the same story? That same bullshit story we all tell ourselves, that I'm too old, I'm too poor, I'm not good enough, I'm blah, blah, blah. It's this bullshit narrative that's in all of our heads that makes us play small with our lives, that makes us have low expectations, low goals. And it's the reason why most of us die unhappy, unfulfilled, and thinking, what a waste of my life. And you know what? The beauty of being the host of London Real the past 10 years has been that I've had the greatest education of perhaps any human on the planet. Maybe Rogan can say he's got a better education, or a couple other podcasters maybe. But I've literally had over 1,000 conversations with some of the greatest minds in the world. And they've all taught me one thing, is that life is a story that you tell yourself. And your results come from your self-narrative and self-dialogue. And so if you say you're too old to fight, guess what? You are too old to fight. And you can say that when you're 20 or 30 or 40, and you can say that when you're 50 or 60, or you can decide to disagree with that narrative and say, guess what? I can fight when I'm 50. I can be a best-selling author. I can be the next mayor of London. I can be a billionaire. I can change the game when it comes to, crypto and blockchain. Like, I can be the best father in the world. I can finish an Ironman race. These are the kind of things that I like to dream about. I like to dream big. And so this is the ultimate question. Is 52 years too old to fight? And I think it's not, and I've gone in there and I've assessed the situation and I've thought, you know what? This is perhaps my last chance, my only chance, and a beautiful, wonderful chance to go in there and have a fight, which is something that's in the DNA of all of us humans. We all pay attention to a fight. We've all been in a fight before, and we've all watched ourselves go through these emotions of fear and terror and pain and getting knocked in the head. Most people fear a fight, and they alter their lives accordingly. Now, I was lucky to start training martial arts in my 30s, and so I've been lucky enough to train for fights. That being said, I've never had a boxing match. I've done sparring, I've rolled a lot of jiu-jitsu, I've got a purple belt, and I've done a bit of that, but this is a different animal, and especially on such a public arena and venue, there's a lot at stake. And let's be honest, I'm not in the shape I was when I was 40 or 30 or 20. And there's real ramifications here. You get punched in the head wrong, and I might not be the same person. And I'm a father to 3 children, my stepdaughter and 2 of my boys. I'm a leader here. I have a business to run. I've got shows. I've got things I need to do for you. I have to show up every day and deliver for you. I mean, I'm broadcasting pretty much every day of the week. I'm teaching, many days of the week. So I realize this is serious, and that's why I'm training for this as if it's, serious, because it is. And I know that when the bell rings, I've seen, in the gym, wallflowers, quiet people, the scared people turn into absolute savages when they see that everything's on the line, or you pop them with a shot and all of a sudden you see a beast come out in someone you didn't think was a beast. I've also seen tough guys melt when they get tired or they find out that they don't have the skills. So it's a fascinating game, what happens inside that ring. And that's why I think everyone's going to tune out and tune in and watch this and be there at the O2 Arena live to watch this all happen. It's going to be an incredible night. It's going to be an exciting night. And part of me is doing this because I want to show people that age is just a number. And it's mostly this bullshit narrative that you tell yourselves every day in your head of what you can't be. Well, I challenge all of that stuff. I don't think that's true. And I know if I tell myself a new narrative every day, I can actually become that person. So this is me, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And ultimately, I'm doing this fight for me. I can't wait for all of you to watch. I can't wait for my family to see it, for my team to see it, for London Reelers to see it. But ultimately, if none of y'all were watching, I'll make that walk because I want to see what Brian Rose does in that ring. I want to see what he's all about. I want to experience this range of emotions, and I want to see if I have what it takes. And I want to train for this, and that's what I'm doing right now. I think about this fight every hour of every day, more. Every 10 minutes of the day, I'm thinking about this fight. I'm watching all sorts of crazy fight movies. I'm watching all sorts of boxing footage. I'm training daily for this thing, and I'm getting in the mode of going in to battle, if you would. And again, I've trained martial arts much of my life, but until you have a fight coming up, it's not as relevant as when you know in 6 weeks from now, someone's going to be trying to knock your block off, and you need to try to do damage as well. So that's what I'm doing. I don't think 50 is too old, clearly. A lot of my friends and family think this is a bad idea. A lot of people I've told thinks this is a bad idea. But you know what? Ultimately, it's my life, and I'm privileged, I'm honored, I'm grateful for this opportunity. Again, I don't have to fight on April 2nd at the O2 Arena in London. I get to fight on April 2nd at the O2 Arena in London alongside a whole range of amazing other fighters. And again, you can be there in London with a ticket and watch. I've got some really cool people coming in for this fight that I'm going to be sharing with you. I think you can also watch it on pay-per-view as well. And I also know there's a lot on the line here. This fight could be played back thousands and tens of thousands of times. So there's a lot of pressure, but I think we find out who we are under pressure. And I want to close with a quote by David Goggins, who was the U.S. Navy SEAL that was in this room with me a few years ago. David's a legend. Follow him on Instagram if you don't. He was doing pull-ups on my pull-up bar here before he came into the studio because he had the pull-up record for a while. And David Goggins said this, and it's something I repeat to myself every single morning in my affirmations. And he says this: if you don't challenge yourself, you don't know yourself. That's a powerful phrase. That's something maybe for each one of you to think about. If you don't challenge yourself, you don't know yourself. And for me, this is a way to getting to know who I am as a person. Or as my martial arts instructor, Chris, says, you learn a lot about yourself when you get into a fight. And so that's what this is. So I hope you're enjoying these vlogs. Please leave me a comment below. I'm literally going through the comments to choose my next few topics. I'm going to do one of these every single day, and I'm going to talk about a range of anything you want to know, from my diet to my training routine to the event itself to my opponent to the round structure to emotions to friends and family. You name it. I'm going to go deep on this. And I plan to do one the night of the fight. So you'll literally see what's going through my head. And who knows, maybe I'll do one the day after as well. Because look, the one thing I've also realized is the world will keep spinning after this fight, regardless of what happens. Life will go on. And that's also something to remember, is that life goes on even when you have these big events in your life. And on April 3rd, I will wake up that morning, I hope, and get back to what I'm doing. And so again, as big of a deal as this is, as scary as it is, it's also not the end of the world. And that's also important to remember about any big event in your life that maybe you're fearing or you're looking forward to. Life will go on afterwards. And so, live your life that way too. So I hope that helps. I would love to see you here in London at the event. I think there's a link below if you want to get those tickets. We got a page on our website, londonreal.tv/fight. Again, just give me comments, share this with your friends, tell me what you think. I know this is a little weird and crazy. I personally don't even think anyone understands what I'm doing here. But this is real. I'll be fighting with gloves on in that boxing arena at the O2 Arena, of all places, a place that I have watched UFC events. I've seen Beyonce perform. I watched Dr. Jordan Peterson live debate Sam Harris at the O2 Arena. It's a massive scale. I saw the McBusted guys perform, and I saw them backstage. It's a massive arena. I've been in the arena, and I'm ready. So looking forward to it. Thank you all so much. Again, big love to you. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. That's just the truth. Without London Real, I wouldn't ever be doing this. I couldn't even conceive of this because 40-year-old Brian might have been more fit, but his brain wasn't right. He didn't understand that this is the way you get places in life, by giving yourself massive mental challenges or big, bodacious goals, as the $1 trillion man, Dan Pena, would say. So that's what we're doing. That's where we're going forward. Very excited, and there's a little trepidation there too, but that's a good thing. As Dennis McKenna once said to me before an ayahuasca ceremony, if you're not scared, you're not paying attention. And I think the same is in a fight. All right? Bless. I'll see you next time. This is Diary of a Fighter.